Maximus Analysis here for January 25th, 2015, and we wanted to hold above this 1880 area all day, and we're coming and testing this 1871 area that we basically have marked out here. 1871 is around this area right here, and you see they broke it once, twice, touched it again. Now this is the fourth time. Usually fourth time means they break down, but again, we won't make any assumptions because these type of moves, again, you can see this move is similar to this one. I'm not going to assume that this is going to happen again. So this has been the environment for aggressive trading at this time, meaning, you know, you get in a couple hours and you're out. One day pop up, you take some profit, go break even on the rest, because there hasn't been that much of follow through going on. In hindsight, this seems like an easy trade, but it's not. In hindsight, 2015, oh, just buy here, buy here, buy here, buy here. That is rubbish. People don't do stuff like that. It's always, trading is the easiest thing to do in hindsight, and just make sure that you're using that type of analysis when going into things. So 1871 needs to hold. 1806 is the low. Okay, 1806 is the low of here. Basically, yeah, about 1806, 1804 area is the low. Want to see those things type of to be held. We have same type of scenario where we see this kind of continuation pattern, and we don't want them to break below this low right here, which is 4120. Have to keep all situations in mind because that's the type of environments that we've been in. Okay, up, down, up, down. People starting to get a little nervous from 2008. People that saw their 401k going half are now kind of worrying. Again, I'm not saying that we're going to crash, but I'm not saying that we're not. What I'm saying is that you got to keep things probably in a lower time frame to get some type of perspective. Now, downtrend, uptrend, all depends on the time frame you trade. Weekly, you're like, we're in a good uptrend. Daily, you're kind of like, I'm in no man's land. And intraday is all over the place, depending on you use 240 hourly or whatever. But we'll continue to look and see how these things go. YM, again, we'll see how this one plays out, but they need to hold above the lows that we have here. Why the hell does this keep happening? 1 second. Okay. Now, the indexes were down 200, but CL gave back all of its gains pretty much today. So again, it right now it's a hard short, but again, they were down 240 today, which again, Friday's range was 282, and again, we'll see how this one plays out more in a neutral type of position, again, unless you're day trading. And don't think that this can't break down again, because this is the same pattern here. And again, it can give you these real odd type of, king and queen patterns is what they kind of call it. So you can see that they basically were selling from overnight, and they continued all the way and closed near the lows. So we'll see how this one plays out and goes from there. Now let's look at some names. Now remember that we have some stuff going on this week in regards to earnings. You have Apple tomorrow. Okay, Apple tomorrow. We'll see how this plays. Again, I don't really play earnings because it's kind of I do a lot of analysis, and it just, unless I'm using a higher time frame like a weekly or monthly, the earnings plays don't really work out well for me. Then you have Wednesday, you have Facebook. Okay, Facebook looks good so far, but again, you have this dark cloud cover, but we'll see what happens at earnings. I would just not, unless you look in the intraday, and again, sometimes because they're fighting with the IV, the options could be really bloated at this time. I would kind of stay away from that stuff. Amazon was only up 15 cents, coming up against this previous low that we have here, and we'll see how it reacts. Again, Amazon has earnings on Thursday, so you kind of don't want to go balls to the wall regarding buying some puts, because you only got about 2 days. So if you're going to play short, understand why. Baba, we got kind of choppy, but again, we want them to hold the 67.5 area. Fitbit down $1.50. Sometimes you're like, damn, does it have $1.50 to give? But it's still giving up stuff. Google down $11. And I don't see, again, we have earnings. Thursday, we have Amazon, Microsoft, Amgen. Friday, we got Chevron, MasterCard. So we got a couple of down names, but we'll see what happens with that. You got IWM is continuing. Again, this is the weakest of the The Russell 2000 is the weakest of the indexes right now and it's continued to underperform even when we have really, really good bounces. LinkedIn down almost $6. Again, this is a 2-bar pullback off of a low. So I like my setups to kind of give me a little bit more action than that, but we'll see how this one plays out. You got Netflix continuing to go down. Again, you had this huge candle that again they're looking to break this low. So that was earnings, and it hasn't shown a break of at least a previous high after that date. Priceline continues to give a sell signal. Again, sell signal, want to see if they follow through on this one. You got Tesla down $6 as well. Again, giving a sell signal. So it's just showing some weakness, but they need to the bulls need to kind of hurry up, get to moving. Twitter, still in a downtrend, and of course you see what crude is doing. So in regards to the big names that were down, you had Goldman Sachs down almost $6, which says a lot. You had Cat almost down $3, so they're selling that one. And they gapped that down and kept going. So the only ones that were really up were McDonald's because they had earnings that they did well, and they're looking to probably sell some stuff because they gapped up, and a lot of people it came to all-time highs, and a lot of people just took some profits. At least should have taken some profits versus the breakout trade. You can kind of see why I don't like breakout trades. Again, because if you're a breakout trader, your stop needs to be under 113. So we'll continue to see and be reactionary, of course, with this market because it could shoot up, it could shoot down, but they need to hold these areas. I'm going back to the ES right here. They need to hold this 1870 area. Again, they've touched it numerous times. So you have the 1870 to 1860 area. Let's see if they hold that going into tomorrow's session. So take care and trade them well.